Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Imagine this scene. You wake up one morning in early April 2025, open your laptop, and watch your entire investment portfolio, the money you worked so hard to build over 6 years, vanish by nearly 35% in less than 10 days. Your heart is pounding, your hands go cold, and you break into a sweat even though the air conditioning is on full blast. All you can think is, it's over, everything I've built is gone. I lived through that exact nightmare. In April 2025, after President Trump's Liberation Day tariff announcement, global stock markets plunged. My portfolio, which had reached nearly $2.8 million, dropped to around $1.8 million in a matter of days. Stocks I'd trusted the most, Nvidia, Tesla, and Amazon, fell sharply. Every time I checked my phone, my stomach tightened. In that moment, I stopped being a rational investor. I became a slave to pure fear, completely controlled by my survival instincts. Today, I'm going to share with you the 5 deadly mistakes I made during that panic. These mistakes. 1. Letting primal fear override financial logic. I remember those terrifying first days of April 2025 most clearly. After the tariff announcement, my portfolio lost over $250 in just 2 to 3 trading sessions. My brain immediately switched into survival mode. Danger. Sell now to stop the pain. I didn't analyze the intrinsic value of the companies. I didn't consider that tariffs might be adjusted or negotiated. I didn't think at all. I just wanted to hit the sell button so my heart would stop racing. I sold a large portion of my holdings at very low prices. The moment I confirmed the sell orders, I felt a brief sense of relief, but only a few weeks later. When Trump announced a 90-day pause on many tariffs, the market rebounded strongly. That's when I realized with deep regret, I had sold near the bottom of the 2025 crash. Rich people know how to act despite fear. At that time, I was just an ordinary person controlled by ancient survival instincts. 2. Falling into the social proof trap. If everyone is selling, I should too. During the chaos, Twitter, X, Reddit, CNBC, and every investment group was flooded with panic and sell orders. Friends, colleagues, and even so-called experts were shouting, "Sell everything. A new trade war has begun." I thought to myself, there are so many of them, they must know something I don't. So I followed the crowd. I sold more and more. That was classic pluralistic ignorance, people panicking simply because they saw others panicking. I forgot that the majority of investors on the market are just copying each other, not truly analyzing fundamentals. The result? I sold right at the bottom and completely missed the strong recovery that followed just weeks later. 3. Confusing short-term safety with long-term freedom. After selling, I moved almost everything into cash. I told myself, keeping cash will protect my family. At least I won't lose any more. I slept better for the first few nights. But soon I realized the terrible mistake. I had killed the golden goose. High-quality stocks like Nvidia and Amazon that I sold at bargain prices later rebounded powerfully once tariff fears eased. The power of compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world, was interrupted. Cash sitting idle in my account earned almost nothing and was slowly eroded by inflation. I had traded long-term financial freedom for a false sense of short-term safety. 4. Betraying the long-term plan I had carefully created. Before the crash, I had spent weeks writing a detailed 10-year investment plan, asset allocation, buying and selling rules, long-term return targets. Yet after only 5 to 6 days of continuous panic, I completely abandoned that plan. I changed my entire strategy based on raw emotion. That wasn't flexibility. It was lack of discipline and a lack of faith in the system I had built. The self-made millionaires and billionaires I studied later all shared one trait. They maintained iron discipline even during the worst market turmoil of 2025. Because I lacked consistency, I missed the chance to buy more great stocks at extremely cheap prices. 5. Shutting the door on learning exactly when I needed knowledge the most. Instead of studying company financials, researching the real impact of tariffs, or learning from experienced investors, I spent hours consuming negative headlines on CNBC, Twitter, and sensational news sites. The more I read, the more panicked I became. The more panicked I became, the more I wanted to sell. It was a deadly vicious cycle. Wealthy people treat failure as the most expensive school. They invest heavily in knowledge, especially during market downturns. At that time, I chose to hide from it. If I had learned more back then, I would have realized. Market panics like the one in April 2025 are often when the greatest asymmetric opportunities appear, especially once policies start to adjust. Dear friends, my story isn't about complaining or showing off. It was the most expensive tuition fee I've ever paid, over $1 million, to truly understand that money is a game played with knowledge, discipline, and emotional control. Today, I want to ask you an honest question. If tomorrow the market crashes again like it did in April 2025, will you be the one steering your financial ship? Or will you just be another grain of sand swept away by the wave of crowd panic? Real wealth doesn't come from avoiding crises. It comes from building a strong enough mindset to turn crises into opportunities. Start today. Create a clear plan. Train your emotional discipline, and never stop upgrading your knowledge. Thank you so much for listening to my honest story. If this video gave you at least one valuable lesson, please hit like and share it so others can avoid making the same mistakes. What was your biggest mistake during a market panic, especially in 2025? Drop it in the comments below. Let's learn from each other.